morning.
Good morning.
I'd like you to imagine a poster with a picture of a gorilla with a snake draped around its neck. And the gorilla's got this snake and it's sort of dancing. I was recently at a conference where they're talking about the economic future of Los Angeles and how technology might play into that future. And one of the main questions some of the leaders of the conference had were, what role can tech play in Los Angeles, and why isn't Hollywood telling the story of technology in Los Angeles more? So I challenged myself to think more about this question of what role technology will play in Los Angeles and why Hollywood's not telling that story. Well, Hollywood is what they would call a tent pole. It's a huge industry that supports other industries in the area. Well, technology in San Francisco and Silicon Valley grew up under a couple of tent poles, mainly Google, huge tent pole, huge business that could support other businesses and make Silicon Valley the place people would go when they wanted to start a tech business. So, in Los Angeles, we've already got a big tent pole, and it's called Hollywood. Now, if you're going to have technology in Los Angeles, it's always going to have to play with the dynamic of Hollywood. Now, the reality is in Los Angeles and Los Angeles County, we've had engineering for years and decades in the aerospace industry. We've had JPL, which does a lot of NASA type activities. So we've had a lot of technology in Los Angeles already. The thing about the technology in Los Angeles is that these engineers wouldn't ever pretend to challenge Hollywood as the coolest kid on campus. What's more likely is that the engineers are going to enjoy the reflected glory of living in Los Angeles, reflected glory of living near Hollywood. So if we're going to ask Hollywood to tell that story, they're never really going to come out as being less cool than the tech people. That's one important dynamic. The other important dynamic of technology in Hollywood has to do with what technology is already doing. Now, obviously, technology should continue to grow and help Hollywood do what it does better, graphics, all the different things and technology that helps Hollywood tell its stories. And technology should also continue growing with the engineering. What was mentioned at the conference is we have a thing called SpaceX in El Segundo, and that's a huge, very cool business. So, but it still doesn't seem to compete with Hollywood for being the coolest and premier thing. In fact, Los Angeles is the location and will be the location for the foreseeable future for anyone who wants to get into the movie business. Just the same way Silicon Valley is a place people will tend to want to go if they want to get into the technology business. The other thing that has to do a lot with the identity of Los Angeles is customer service. So technology should be developing applications that can help customer service representatives, hotel managers, wait staff to serve their customers better. And the other extremely important thing about technology in Los Angeles is that most of the things that have to do with social media, the Facebook platforms, the Google search advertisements, that business has reached what they call maturity. Meaning they're not going to adopt any more advertising revenue from television, newspapers, and radio. So the business, any new business that they develop will just be the same as others. So which means the exponential growth of those social media platforms has reached a plateau, and that's called a business that's in maturity. It's no longer new. But the technology business that is new is artificial intelligence. So any and all new technology tentpoles or huge, gigantic technology firms will be in the artificial intelligence business. Therefore, we need to be investing in AI, and especially if a big part of the identity of Los Angeles is customer service, let those artificial intelligence applications help customer service representatives offer better customer service. And so in business, the growth tends to be incremental unless there's a huge new technology like a Google search that made it possible to search the entire web instead of just one machine. It's important. I'd like to bring back that image of the gorilla dancing with the snake. So we've seen the poster, the gorilla's dancing with the snake. We've made it into the big top and we're seeing the show. And the gorilla shows up and we find out it's not really a gorilla, it's a guy in a gorilla suit. And he's dancing with something draped around his neck, but it's not really a snake. It's more of a paper mache item that's painted and very, very creatively done. It actually moves. And, more interestingly, it's got a string of lights in it, like Christmas tree lights. And the lights are blinking and things like that. It's got a battery, so the guy can go in around anywhere he wants to dance with this snake. But they're working on a new feature. They want to get the lights to blink at the same time in the eyes and at the same time in the fangs of the snake, so that it's a little more captivating. Right now, the eyes and the teeth and all the lights are just blinking randomly, so it looks sort of like a drunken snake. But I'm telling you, as soon as this new feature gets developed, where we can control the eye, how the eyes are blinking, it's going to be extremely cool. Thank you.